Hey, it's Gigguk, and you're watching Pixel Party Pals. Woo! I got it right on my first take.
It is! Alright, hey guys, how are we doing? So this is really weird. I've recently been watching Black Clover. I've read the first 2 volumes of the manga, really like it. And I mentioned in a live stream once that I wanted to watch Black Clover, and a few of you were like, no, don't. The voice actor's really annoying. And I was just like 2 days ago, like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to start watching it. And you know what? I'm really enjoying it. And then Gigguk goes and uploads this video, which is Black Clover does not suck anymore. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only part way in, and I'm sure there's going to be some spoilers here or there with this, because but I'm okay with that, because Gigguk's usually quite funny anyway. I'll let any spoilers slide, because I am going to just binge the whole. Like I'm on episode. I don't know. I'm only on episode 13. And there's like 50 something. It got renewed for like more episodes, didn't it? People thought it was going to like end at 52 or something like that, and people are starting to really like it now, and I'm really enjoying it. So let's see what Gigguk has to say on the matter. This is Black Clover does not suck anymore. It was in capitals, so I had to. Anyway.
Warning! Warning! Hot take incoming. Careful, don't burn your tongue now. It's a hot boy coming through. Just make sure you don't.
Oh no!
Don't drop it.
No!
Black Clover is actually underrated. There, I said it.
Yeah.
And today we'll be counting down our picks of the top 10 anime betrayal.
Just give me your word, I don't care. Almost 1 year ago now, Black Clover released to a post-Hero Arca Season 2 hyped anime community, only to get absolutely destroyed by a fandom hungry for blood, collectively.
Yeah, a lot of people hated on it, didn't they?
Boy who had the voice of 1,000 crying babies being put through a cheese grater.
I still find it annoying.
By some asshole YouTubers. And you know,
I didn't watch that.
So, the beginning of this anime was absolutely awful, but now, 50 episodes later, nearly 200 chapters into the manga, with the anime confirming to be continuing past its original run, Black Clover still to this day has a horrible rep, thanks to the atrocious start and screen memes that someone helped perpetuate. So today I thought I'd revisit Black Clover because honestly being caught up with manga and anime, I don't think it deserves all the flack it gets. So I'm going to do something I never thought I'd do a year ago.
Oh.
I'm going to defend Black Clover.
My God. I don't mind it.
Right off the bat right now. Black Clover is not for everyone. I'm not here to convince you that Black Clover is a good series for all of you, because it's really not. When I say it's underrated, I mean that I feel the amount of hate the series gets is undeserving simply due to its start, because I believe the show has its own space and appeal that a fair few of you may actually enjoy. The series, especially the manga, has a lot of merits that anyone who drops
the manga's better paced.
drum-bursting episodes of Us to Scream
I'm finding some episodes quite annoying at the moment.
So in order to defend
like,
it, I'm probably going to have to spoil a bit of it. So there will be minor anime and manga spoilers incoming.
That's cool.
I won't go into any major plot points, and I'll try to keep it to the elements that I found interesting.
Cool.
And I think what I want to start with is the characters. One of the main elements of any series we look to carry a show is the cast and characters. And when we look at Black Clover's characters, it's easy to dismiss them as a group of tropes and cliches because, well, they kind of are.
Yeah.
On the surface, most of the cast members don't get too much development save for the main few, but for me the actual strength of the characters don't come from the individual cast members, but as an ensemble. The series has no problem just throwing a large group of new characters in your face at once, meaning that you won't get much of an impression beyond the initial look and quirk each individual has. But the characters and personalities are varied enough that it's just entertaining to watch the group dynamic work as a whole. After the arc where Asta fights bad CG Ice Knack, we are properly introduced to the world of the Magic Knights. The Magic Knights are split up into different divisions, with each division having a different personality and group philosophy led by a captain that embodies that philosophy. On top of this system, most members come from a noble family, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're in the same division, with each family having their own dynamic and having rivalries with other big families. And that's not even mentioning the commoners like Asta and Yuno. Add to this a ranking system that rewards group and individual performances, and you have a recipe for some entertaining chemistry. What I liked is how the series spotlights the relationship between the cast members that hints at these characters having a long history without having everything revolve around our main duo.
That's it's cool that you can do that. You don't have to focus on the main characters.
The Blue Rose Squad, who has the reputation of being an Ice Queen man-hater, actually has a secret schoolgirl crush on Yami. And, I mean, how can you blame her when you're growing up with this pure perfect specimen of male masculinity. Please have my babies, Yami. Little things like this lend a sense of legitimacy because it feels like you're watching a huge dysfunctional group of friends hang out with each other.
Yeah.
They banter, they take the piss out of each other, but the real strength is seeing these relationships grow as the series goes on. You see the general respect for Asta change as he proves himself. Captain Poodlehead Asshole actually is shown to have a deep admiration for his rival and even cares for him. Even though everyone serves a very obvious purpose, like even if that purpose is just to add a personality quirk to the group, the series knows
she
this,
loves her
and it
food.
knows the personality cliches that works in shonen, and it plays to it. Yami is straight up an ex-shonen protagonist who has already finished a series to grow up to become the mentor character.
Yeah.
He's designed to be the cool badass, so much so he knows how the shonen tropes works because he's been through all this shit before and he's become self-aware of it, which just makes it entertaining. Like, if he's ever backed into a corner, he just nonchalantly goes, well, I guess it's time to surpass my limits somehow. No biggie, I've done this a million times before. The final result is that the sum of the whole ensemble is greater than any of its individual parts. And this sentiment is something I feel is mirrored in other aspects of the series, because another big talking point about Black Clover has been about its unoriginality. One of the biggest criticisms thrown against the series initially was just how unoriginal everything was. Black Clover seemed to be a complete mishmash of different shonen tropes and cliches stapled together in
It's like Naruto.
Asta seems to be a melting pot of every shonen protagonist to ever exist.
It's just Naruto and Sasuke.
The world and magic system was basically a combination of Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and Fairy Tail, along with a premise that hardly had any unique selling points. So you may be wondering, what's changed about this? Well, surprisingly, not much.
Nothing.
And that has actually turned out to be one of its biggest strengths. Black Clover continues to take elements from so many other series, but once you realize that it just doesn't give a shit, you see that because of this, it can throw in all the best elements you've seen in other shows and just plays around with them together. This is as shonen as it gets, and it doesn't try to be anything but that. You know it's a shonen, it knows it's a shonen, so it just gives you this no-nonsense approach by constantly drip-feeding you every element it knows you want to see in a shonen in a very compact
why not?
space. Let's take the structure of the Magic Knights we just talked about, which is essentially just doing what Bleach did with the Gotei 13, which I don't
Soul
really have a
Society.
problem with, because that was one of my favourite parts of the Soul Society arc. However, it takes this and adds even more variation in the personalities and powers of everyone, while also adding in a ranking system to add a sense of competitiveness and progression for weaker divisions. Now, how can we make this even more fun? Well, let's give a bit of time to develop the dynamics of each group, feed us hints so we can speculate power levels, then put every division in a massive tournament arc.
Cool.
Oh, you want a magic system?
Look forward to
Here,
that.
we got all the magics. We got fire,
Tournament
ice, earth, wind, water magic. Oh, you want
Captain
more?
Planet.
We got metal magic. We got poison magic. We got Spartior magic. We got summons. We got pain magic. We got light magic. We got time magic. We got magic that transforms buildings into giant mecha suits.
Cool.
How do these all fit in a magic system? I don't fucking know. Who cares? You want to see them all together, right?
Awesome.
Well, here you go. You may hear this and think, well, isn't this just the jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal? But I think a better way to describe it is that it is the master at being a jack of all trades.
Cool.
Black Clover knows you've already seen all this shit before, so instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, it just keeps throwing you what your inner shonen trash wants to see and has fun
That's
with
what you want.
Individually, the elements presented in the series don't do anything special, but it's together that the series is able to carve its own identity. But there is one big difference between Black Clover and the shonen titles of old, and hell, even My Hero Academia, and that is the pacing. Admittedly, a lot of the things I talked about is very surface level and would be prone to getting old fast, and the way Black Clover counteracts this is by never fucking slowing down.
Right.
While something like My Hero Academia favours concrete character building, Black Clover values constant progression and escalation, and it never ever takes a break. Even arcs that seemingly start off with an unimportant plot point almost immediately ramps up to an incident that steps up in scale to the previous one. Logic would normally dictate that it's impossible to continually one-up itself each arc without burning out and digging itself into a corner, but I can say that caught up to the manga, that somehow hasn't happened yet. We're coming off one of the most shocking events to happen in the series thus far. This includes the constant escalation in the power system, which goes against pretty much every rule I said in my power escalation video I did before, but it works because in concept, Asta's ability of being able to negate magic is already the most overpowered ability in the series from the beginning. So no matter how ridiculous...
Like in a world where everything's magic, he has
anti-magic.
anti-magic.
...way to use his magic cancelling abilities. Watching Black Clover is like eating a bag of ready salted Walker's crisps. That's potato chip if you're American.
Okay.
Ready salted isn't exactly everyone's favourite flavour, but everyone can appreciate ready salted crisps unless you're allergic to salt or something, and if that's the case, what are you doing in the anime community? But once you open a packet, you don't just eat one crisp, you have to finish the whole packet, and a single episode or chapter is like eating a single
What a
crisp,
comparison!
making the series so
Walker's
easy to
crisps,
marathon.
ready salted.
The highs of the series are definitely less than its competition, but the highs come so often that you just keep going because it feels like there's rarely a point where it's appropriate to stop. But of course, all this is pointless if I can't stand the main character, right? Surely there could be nothing to redeem this annoying twerp that makes my ears bleed whenever he opens his mouth,
I don't think it's
right?
annoying.
Well, aside from the fact that he does scream less as the series is going on, and if it bothers you that much, you could always watch the dub. There was one moment that actually sold me on Asta's character, but the anime is just about to reach this point, so spoiler warning for anime-only peeps. So to set the scene, we've just finished Asta's biggest fight of the series thus far, and he's badly damaged his arms, to the point where he's broken almost every bone in them. Yeah, okay, shut up, okay. But the caveat is that they are also cursed to the point where the curse cannot be removed, leaving him a cripple. I said shut up, okay? His teammates who find out about this are distraught for him. Just when it seems like everything is going well, it sinks in that the boy with no magic power cannot even swing his sword anymore. The one thing he can do to get by in this world. And even though he was acting cheerful to them just a moment ago, as they try to find him, there's one question on everyone's mind. How is he feeling? We see Asta sitting alone. The normally loud, cheerful boy is contemplating everything he's just been told in complete silence. And for the first time since the series started, we see just a glimmer of weakness and hesitation.
Oh man.
The thought possibly crossing his mind that this time there is no coming back from this, and maybe it is time to give up. Before...
So who's giving up? Messing with me again, huh? Fate? I'm actually all fired up now, so take that!
Awesome.
I will find a way to heal these arms. You can take that to the bank, or I'll find some other kind of strength besides my arms and use that to fight all the way to the end.
Cool.
That one time was the very last time I'm ever gonna get depressed.
Aww.
For real.
Asta rejects what he's been told, and in the most shonen fashion possible, tells himself loudly whatever happens, he'll find a way to get over this hurdle. This little moment changed so much of the way I think of Asta's character.
That's
the reason
class.
for his shouting, the reason for his obnoxious attitude, his seemingly overconfidence, isn't because
To
he's
boost
just
himself.
an annoying, loud little brat. He was born in a world where he was doomed to fail, and his
He's always told that he can't do anything.
He works. He worked as hard as
He
he
worked
could
really
his
hard.
entire life to prove everyone wrong, even if deep inside he's scared that they're right. Him shouting this to himself shows that he's not just shouting for people to listen to him. He's shouting as much so he listens to himself. He plays the character he wishes to be, says the words he wants to hear, because anything is better than sinking back into a state where he gives in to what everyone's been telling him. And that was something I was not expecting when I first started watching this show.
Wow, that's deep.
Of course, we all wish it was this easy to get over our biggest hurdles in life, but this is shonen.
Yeah.
This is the reason we show like this, and in these few short panels, Black Clover had turned Asta from a loud, annoying cliche to someone with an admirable attitude, someone who keeps his ideals. Wait. Wrong show. And that's kind of where I stand with Black Clover. My main complaints right now aren't with most of the problems that the series started with, but it's more with the anime adaptation itself. The beginning of the anime takes away one of the biggest strengths of the manga, its pacing, and it doesn't really start to pick up until about...
I am noticing that, the like when you're reading the
which in
manga, it's...
modern anime is a death sentence. But more than that now,
But
it's the animation.
I'm enjoying it.
As later episodes fix the pacing issue, the consistency in the animation varies greatly.
Right.
With some of the best and worst animated episodes literally coming out back to back. When it's good, it's fucking fantastic, but when it's bad, it really takes away to some of the impact the manga had. The adaptation is going down the route of continually releasing an episode every week rather than the modern approach of releasing a season every year, which not only allows the manga to get ahead, but also allows for a better production schedule to produce more focused and concise episodes. Simply put, the Black Clover anime is a 2003 shonen anime adaptation in 2018. And that's why if you do want to experience Black Clover, unless you are very adverse to reading, my recommendation would would be to read the manga and rewatch some of the best fights in the anime. Because really, if Black Clover was released in that time period, I honestly
God,
believe
yeah,
it would
really
stand
stand out.
Big Three. It's a series that takes so much inspiration from the shonens of those times, but even today I still think it has its own charm. It is a series made for shonen trash fuckboys like me and doesn't give a shit about pleasing anyone else.
Yeah.
If you're not a shonen fan, this series is not going to change your
Get
mind.
out.
But the reason I wanted to make this video isn't to say that everyone should go out and watch or read Black Clover now. It's because we memed the fuck out of it at the beginning because it was so fucking memeable. But I think it's done enough to prove that it has its own merits, and if you're shonen trash like me, especially if you grew up with the early 2000s shonens of the big three and have a free weekend, you will absolutely blast through this. It's a ridiculously marathonable series.
I only watched
despite its god-awful
the first 12
premise,
yesterday.
serves you up a no bullshit approach of pure battle shonen goodness without any of the filling. It is still the problem child of shonen that doesn't shine as brightly as its peers, but you know what? I can't help but enjoy its straightforward, direct demeanor that gives me everything my inner shonen trash wants. So you can keep on screaming as loud as you want, Black Clover. I will still eat it all up.
Nice. Cool. It's done. I can now publicly say I enjoy Black Clover. Just please don't unsub.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again to Nice Chronicle for sponsoring this video. They came to me and were like, we really want to work with you again, and I was like, I'm only working on the Black Clover video right now. And they were like, you know what? That's completely fine. So
Cool.
if any of what I talked about today interests you, you can download that game on iOS or Android in the link below. Also, thank you very much to Robert Harnball, Basil, Patrick Madsen, Lauken, and everyone else on my Patreon for helping to support me for this month. If you missed it, last weekend I did also do a stream of all my reactions to all of the new anime coming out this season. It was actually a hell of a lot of fun just weaving out 2,000 different people on stream, so I'm definitely going to do this again for next season. And who knows, this might be a regular thing. Currently, the VODs are still up on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Gigguk, but I might also upload them on my YouTube. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, whether I'm going to put them on my second channel or put it on this channel. I don't know yet. But anyway, that's all from me today. No further updates. I've been Gigguk, and I will see you all next time.
Cool. That was a cool video. I'm definitely like sticking with Black Clover, like, and then just watching it as it comes out, because I like it and I don't find it annoying like people were saying. Like, but yeah, everyone's hating it. I was just like, no, I'm gonna watch it, and then Gigguk on that, and I like that video. He's a cool dude. He's a funny man. He's a nice bloke. He takes the time to talk to people when you see him. I'll never forget. Talking to Gigguk. One of my coolest moments ever. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Go watch Black Clover or read the manga. I've got the first 2 volumes and they're really good. And I might every now and then buy another one, and because I like to, if I get really into something, I like to compare the differences. Like I've got all the Naruto mangas and the first 2 volumes of Boruto, which is okay. I need to watch Boruto. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Boruto. It's on like episode 70 something now. I'm sure I'll catch up. I remember back in the day when I started Naruto, and it was like, what? There's like, what? 100 something episodes? Okay, what's that? But anyway, going off topic. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.